Hey there, I'm Mark.
I'm Evan.
Hey there, I'm Mark.
I'm Evan.
One more time. Hey there, I'm Mark.
I'm Evan.
And on this week's podcast, we talk about big, scary goals.
Why my audiobook team doesn't want to hear Mark's name ever again.
And Evan tells me that tomorrow I need to be a 7 instead of a 4. Welcome to the Not So Corporate? Oh, I almost called it that.
Wow!
Welcome to the Something to Prove podcast. Let me tell you, Louis auditing all of our expenses because 6 weeks ago I lost my corporate credit card and I thought it would turn up, but finally I went back to work on Monday and I was like, I'm going to call Visa, cancel that credit card, get a new one. But I have all these things that are just automatically pulled off of it.
Yeah, it's annoying.
So my controller and Louis are going through line by line everything that's on my credit card, and I don't really look for my credit cards very often or at all. So what a way to run a business, eh? But anyway, he's just like, Mark, what is this Libsyn, which is our podcast server? What's this Libsyn charge for $20?
Wait. Is that your best Louis voice?
He's like, hold on. So he comes in. He's like, what's this Libsyn charge for?
No, I want to hear. You got to do it in your best Louis voice.
Well,
come on, channel Louis.
Mark, what's this Libsyn? I can't. It sounds the same every time. Anyway, he's like, what's this Libsyn charge? And I was like, I said it's a podcast. He's like, oh, okay. And he comes back in like 3 seconds later, and he's red faced. He's angry, and he's like, there's another Libsyn fee here. I said, yeah. $20 is for one podcast, $30 for Evans and my podcast. I pay for both, whatever.
What's the other podcast?
It's the Not So Corporate podcast. We still have it all sitting on a server.
Oh, okay.
And then he's just like, why do we need to pay 2 fees? He was angry.
I agree.
I'm like, dude, it's not a big deal. So today, and then he kept coming in. He was getting super angry about, what's this $5 fee we pay? Anyway. So today I went in, I closed the server for the Not So Corporate podcast.
Wow.
Which is why it was top of mind for me. And now I'm saving $20 US per month. I'm making
US,
really happy. We closed our Constant Contact account because we haven't sent an email out of it since 2015.
Okay.
Or 2016. He's like, why are we paying $60 a month? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know why we're doing any of this stuff.
Great.
How often do you audit all of your expenses, or does Nina do that all the time?
Yeah. Nina's way better at it.
Yeah.
She audits, I don't know, she just randomly goes in and checks everything. She checks the bank account every day. She checks all of our bank accounts every day.
My controller reconciles all checks and makes sure all payments are good, but he just assumes if there's an automated fee off of the credit card that I intend to pay it forever because it's something we use. It's not like he's going to go in and say like, oh, should you really be spending this on Adobe or that or whatever? You get all these little services that you pay for along the way and you forget.
I know. Yeah, I hear you.
Louis today was like, dude, man, I think we're going to free up $100 a month. I'm like, good. Okay, cool. I feel like it takes more effort to go through, audit all these things and close everything. Then it's not worth.
Well, first, I like how you said, I feel that. And second, you're right.
Yeah. And third, also, though, money is money, and it is good. It is good to have someone else come along, get really angry, and take care of it for you.
Maybe.
Yeah. Anyway, how you doing, Evan?
On the mend.
On the mend. You were sick, eh?
I had a sore throat and a cough, and I haven't been doing my Wim Hof since Hayden came here and said I got a cough.
Okay, and then it was further aggravated by having to read 1.5 pages of Mark Drager's writing.
Yeah. So yesterday, I got
tell the podcast the story. This is hilarious.
So I have to read my audiobook. Built to Serve.
No, you don't have to. You get to.
Oh my God, Mark! Come on, don't pull that garbage on me.
That's not garbage.
Oh,
it's an amazing opportunity. Oh, I'm sorry, Evan, writer of a published book who's going on a tour. Oh, darn, you get the opportunity to make an audiobook. That's super cool.
Are we done?
Do you not agree? Do you not think so?
Of course. When I said I have to, it's not like, oh, I have to. Mark, come on. Jesus Christ. Okay. So I have to do my audio podcast. My audio.
You get to.
No. And here's the thing. I messaged my publisher the day before to say, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this because I'm coughing and I've got a frog in my throat, and the junior guy at the publishing company who I've never met, messages me back. He's like, Evan, this is really important. The publisher paid a lot of money for this, and we sold the rights to another audio book publishing company, and we have to tough it out and make it happen. It's like, dude, you don't even know who you're talking. Like in my head, I want to rip his face off, but I don't know him, right? It's like I finished my tour with a broken neck for 30 days.
You should have made yourself a meme, a picture of you with a broken neck, and say, "Don't worry, bro, I got this."
I'll show up. I'll do it in my hospital bed. I'll show up and have like a Stephen Hawking voice machine if you want me to. Like, that's not the problem. You want a high quality output, and I don't know that I can give it to you. If you're okay with me sounding like a frog died in my voice, and great. Anyway, before I responded, the senior publisher stepped in and,
and said, "Do you even know this guy? He finished a tour with a broken neck."
No, but she smoothed it over. Anyway,
okay.
It's fine. It's fine. Compassion, understanding, empathy. The guy doesn't know me.
You get 90 seconds, right?
What?
90 seconds.
What's 90 seconds?
You said you would give yourself 90 seconds to be frustrated.
Oh, did I say that?
Yeah, okay. And then you'd go back to a beautiful state.
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, I said, I'll show up, and then they can kick me off. If I show up and I'm talking and it sucks, then they can kick me off. And so I told I have a director. So when you get there, there's a crew of people who are recording. There's a senior guy, a junior guy, and then there's a director who is on Skype. So this guy was in New York, and he hears me read, and they pay attention to every word and tone and energy and all that stuff. And I told him, like, listen, if I start to fade or I'm not giving the quality, just pull me out. He's like, okay, well, also you need to like be a little, if you feel yourself going down, it's like, dude, I'll keep going until I just pass out. Like, you need to tell me when you want me to stop. Anyway, we ended up going more than halfway through the book. So we crushed our target, which is great. He wanted to do 130 to 140 pages. We have 2 recording days. And we got to 160 something or 170. So that'll mean Thursday will be a shorter day. But the most challenging read of the whole thing, and can I tell you something? I shall tell you that later. So the whole thing, the most challenging read was Mark Drager's story. So Mark has
2 pages?
2 pages?
Not much.
2 pages? I feel like it's like 4,000 pages. 2 pages took me like half an hour to read.
I love it so much. When you texted me this last night, when I actually was falling asleep, it was like 9:15. I should have been in bed. I stayed up an extra hour to talk to you. I was like, I loved it so much. It was so delightful to hear.
Oh, great.
Worked so hard to get my simple words and cadence out.
The way that Mark Drager writes is not how I want to speak, because I could fly through the book, even though I'm coughing and like they cut all that stuff out and we pause and I'm drinking tea like crazy. I could fly through the book because the way that I write is how I speak. And so, cadence. Yeah, I just know it's like go, right? And if I make one little word change, they didn't like call me, unless it was like a grammatical mistake or something, but it's like, I'm the author, whatever, don't worry about it. But we got through other people's stories. I got through Alex's story, no problem. I got through Michael Edwards' story, no problem. We got to Mark Drager. It's like, okay, great. I read what he wrote. Perfect. Let's go. Dying, struggling. He's like, no, Mark didn't say that. Like, what do you mean? I would read it and swear that I read it exactly like you wrote it. And then my director in New York kept saying, no, Mark didn't say that. So because they're not my exact words, they want to be exact. Because if I do it the wrong
You
way,
have to do it exact, because eventually I'm going to have to sign over. I'm surprised I haven't signed it over to you guys yet. In the last book, I had to sign all the legal documents to give you guys everything. So
yeah, anyway, so like if something is wrong, Mark could sue us, I guess. Like, whatever. This is what Mark actually meant to say. Let's just go with it. They're like, no.
I meant to say maniac rather than manic.
Okay, well that was a little off. Yeah. Manic. He's calling his stepfather manic, and I kept saying maniac. I just kept reading it as maniac. Who uses the word manic ever in English?
But here's the thing. My stepfather is manic.
Yeah.
It's manic depressive. He has the mania
but-
side of it. He has a chemical
But he's
imbalance.
also a maniac. It's the same thing. He's a maniac. Great. Is it that different if I said your stepfather's a maniac? Come on. Anyway,
Okay.
that one line was giving me nightmares. And then what was the other one? I sent you one.
Oh yeah, that was
On
great.
the edge of.
I even gave you the cadence breakdown.
It was something about being on the edge. And I kept saying the edge of.
Yeah,
I think that's what it was.
That, right? From the age of 7 onward, I was raised in a home where I was always on edge, never sure if what I said or what I did or how I acted would get me into trouble.
I was always on edge.
I just read it to you the way that I wrote it.
I kept saying always on the edge.
Yes.
Always on the edge. And then they said, no, Evan, you did it again. Like, what do you mean? Like, you said the edge. Like, no way. And then they rewound the tape and they said it. Like, are you kidding me? Oh, okay, Evan, drink a glass of water.
Let's go.
Push it around. Let's do it again. Half an hour to read 2 pages of Mark Drager.
Yeah, and you didn't like this one. And that's what comes from growing up with a manic, bitter, alcoholic stepfather.
Yeah, maniac. I kept saying maniac. There was a couple others. I kept adding that somewhere. I kept wanting to add that in one of your sentences or 2 of them.
So this is what I find most delightful, though, because back in May, when you asked if I wanted to participate, and I said, for sure, I'll help you out any way I can, I assumed that you would interview me and then write it. Then you emailed me and you said,
I should have.
You said, where's your part of the book?
Right.
What are you talking about? And you said, everyone else wrote their own parts. Send me what you want in the book.
Yeah.
And so I had anxiety for like a week, and I sent you something and I was like, I don't know if it's good or not. And then you waited 3 weeks till the deadline. And then you were like, no, this isn't good, Mark. And I said, I told you it might not be. You're like, this isn't good. You have 2 hours. And on a Sunday morning, I like wrote it and sent it to you and wrote it and sent it to you and wrote it and sent it to you over and over and over again. And then you're like, perfect. It's good. It goes in.
Okay. I missed some words.
That's payback, man. You should have written it and then it would have been in your cadence.
You're welcome. Anyway, so, but here's the thing. So that was stressful. After we got through the Mark Drager, I guess 2 pages, it just feels like it was an entire chapter. The director's like, okay, guys, let's take a break. 10-minute break.
They were like, who's this Mark guy?
Oh my gosh.
How can he write like this?
Yeah. And then I said, guys, because it was starting to get into the day. It was like maybe 3:00 and we were almost halfway through the book.
Yeah.
And I'm struggling, I'm slowing down. And they're like, Evan, listen, it's natural by this time of day to start to slur on words and mess things up. It's like, guys, don't worry. The next chunk is what I wrote. We'll crush it. We'll get through it. It's going to be amazing. I promise. So, okay, just take a 10-minute break. Because I was looking ahead. It's like, Jesus Christ, do we have more Mark Drager in here? Like, what's coming up? What's in the pages to come? It's painful. It was painful, dude. It was a painful experience.
Listen to how easy this is to read. Are you ready?
I went through it. I already went through it.
You just needed to add more pauses, right? This is all one sentence, which I also love. There's a lot of comments.
Your long ass sentences are ridiculous.
There's repetition though, right? From the age of 7 onward, I was raised in a home where I was always on edge, never sure if what I said or what I did or how I acted would get me into trouble. See how easy that was to read?
Listen, you should have been there in the booth. We should have live streamed it. But can I tell you something? Here's what happened. So as I was going through Alex's story at the beginning, we're going through it. It's like, okay, no problem. And I had to be Alex. I had to say his lines, right? Yeah. And then I thought, you know what would be cool? This is what I was thinking at lunch. So at lunch,
do these parts.
When I went to lunch, I went to Shoppers. I got some chicken and tomatoes and Advil. And then I was thinking,
a winning combination, by the way.
Oh my God, I had a fever. It was out of control, right? And then I just needed something. So keto. The only thing they had was this chicken with. They had potato starch in it, but apparently potato starch doesn't get digested, so you can have it on keto. Okay. Well, otherwise I'm just eating tomatoes. So anyway, I'm thinking on Thursday I have to go back for day 2. I should have Mark come and read his part. Like, wouldn't that be kind of special to have Mark Drager be the only one in the whole thing who gets to read his part? Alex doesn't get to read his part. Michael doesn't get to read his. Nobody gets to read their part. Yes. Maybe we should just have Mark. Like, that could be kind of cool.
Or I can just send you the audio file since I have my.
No. Your audio file is going to be. They're insanely anal about everything. Yeah. It's insane. I mean, it sounds awesome, but they're Like, oh, I think I heard a little thing, and they replay it back. It's like, I didn't hear anything. Oh yeah, you see that little thing? But they put you in a room with no fan, nothing, right? Like it's super quiet. That's why I have to wear shorts and a t-shirt and sandals, because it gets too hot. Anyway, I was legit thinking that, and then after the break, we come back, and then there's Mark Drager's section. I was like, oh, I don't remember where you were in the book.
Yeah.
I really thought we could do Thursday, and I was all excited to propose the idea and really just force it on them.
I still like the idea to action.
Yeah. But
what time Thursday?
No, they do not want to. I'm pretty sure they don't want to see your face, hear your name.
That's not my fault.
Have anything to do with Mark Drager in their life.
Oh, wow. You've already ruined my chances with the publishing industry.
No, not the publishing industry, just the guys who make audiobooks. Yeah, right. The director and this one company. They might have you on a ban list. It was brutal. I don't think it's ever been. I mean, it also shows that I can't read other people's work, because the director, his girlfriend is a voice actor, and that's what she does, is she reads other people's books. I would suck at that. I would be just the worst. Yeah. Anyway, so good times. Can I tell
you a story?
Yeah.
So yesterday, I don't know why, but yesterday was first day back for work. I was so tired. I even went to bed early on Sunday. I didn't go to the gym on Monday, and I slept until 6 a.m. And I was just like wiped. So I get up, and I'm like all bleary-eyed and foggy, and I get dressed. What's that?
You don't hit your mic. You're hitting your mic when you did that. Yeah. That's
anyway.
Brutal. I care about our audio people here. Fold your thing down so that it doesn't hit the mic. It's hitting a couple times. That's why it's getting crackly. Yeah, there you go. It's probably
take this off too. I like this. This is like my new favorite thing. It's like this wool Lululemon thing I bought on Boxing Day for a great deal. Anyway, so I'm super, super tired, and I do possibly the most embarrassing thing that I could possibly do. So I get in my truck. I'm driving to work. I stop to get a coffee. I go to the Tim Hortons. I get into the line in the drive-through. I go through the drive-through, and she opens the window, and I'm looking at the woman. She's like, that'll be 202. That's always what a large coffee is, right? 202. And I'm looking at her, and I'm thinking, I don't remember ordering. But she has my coffee, and she's handing it to me, and I look, it says dark roast, so I pay for the coffee. And like when you're driving home and you just don't remember driving home at all? Like you just don't remember it? I'm like, I must not have remember ordering. So I drive a little bit forward, and I open it up, and the coffee has cream and sugar in it. And I was like, this isn't my coffee. And I'm thinking, I don't remember ordering at all. So what happens is I got into the drive-thru, and I just never rolled down my window, never asked for my order. Just I must have been sitting there at the window, and they must have been asking, what can I get you? What can I get you? And I never heard, because I didn't have my window down. It was really cold. And I took someone else's coffee, and I threw off the entire Tim Hortons line, I guess, because I paid for the person's behind me. And I didn't know what to do. So then I'm sitting in the drive-thru. I'm like, this isn't my coffee. I'm thinking, I don't really want to walk in and be like, sorry, I forgot to order. Like, what do you do? So I drove across the street to the Starbucks and bought a different coffee. And
what? No, you got to lean into that.
I was so tired and so cold, and I was like so confused too. She's like, that'll be 202, and I'm sitting there looking at her, and I was like, I don't even remember ordering. Like, I don't even. What did I miss? Like, I completely must have fallen asleep, like mentally.
Wow,
I have never even considered that as a risk of getting into line in a drive-thru and forgetting to order.
I've never had that happen.
I've never had that happen either. Anyway, so I drove to work, felt like just like super tired. And then later I was texting Jack, and I was like, I got to tell you this story. This is ridiculous. But that's how tired I was yesterday.
It's not good, Mark. Mark needs more sleep.
I guess so. And I was going to go to bed early, but then I talked to Evan for an extra hour. So
because I was suffering from reading his 2 pages for half an hour.
Yeah. And we were talking about your custom Believe font as well.
Oh, that's exciting. I'm going to practice with that tonight as soon as we're done.
Oh, are you? Oh,
yeah.
I should get it fixed then and over to you. But anyway, you can play around with it. I'll get it fixed tomorrow.
Okay. Well, then I'll use the old one, and then I'll use your new fixed one tomorrow.
Yes. Let's do that.
All right.
Anyway, I just wanted to share with you that ridiculous story.
Next time, go back into the Tim Hortons and lean into the discomfort.
I know. I should have parked and got out and walked in. But they would have been like, what? I don't even know if they would understand what I'm saying.
Doesn't matter.
I'm sorry. I just drove through the drive-through, forgot to order, took someone else's coffee, threw off your entire system. Here you go. This is, I was thinking, how long is it going to take for them to realize that I've thrown them
No. The next person behind you is going to realize that they got the wrong thing.
Okay.
The next person. You didn't throw off anything.
Well, I get a large coffee, it's 202. Someone else had a large coffee, it's 202. If it was black, I would have just not even known at all. But it was the cream and sugar that threw me.
You should have gone in just because you were embarrassed about doing it.
I'm sharing it now because I was embarrassed by it.
Yeah, but this is fun for you to share.
It is fun.
It's not embarrassing.
It's ridiculous is what it is.
You're proud of you sharing it.
I'm proud of how ridiculous it is.
All right. Next time, go in.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's our topic today, Mark? What are we talking about?
What's our topic today? So I reached out to Jason, the last podcast, or maybe it was the time before we were talking about.
Oh,
Jason
yeah.
And I was like, I should reach out to him. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, I'm just going to send him a video. So I sent him a video, and I'm like, Jason, man, we haven't talked in a while. I hope you're well. I miss you. Hope you're awesome. And then he sent, oh, hold on, I have it here. I don't think he's sharing it. But anyway, he sent this message. Oh, it disappears after a certain number of time on IG. Anyway.
Okay, let's hear your best Jason then.
Yeah. Anyway, he was just, I can't do impersonations of people. He was like, Mark, hey, man, miss working with you guys too. Hope you're awesome. Hope business is good. And then he goes, I hope in 2020 you've set a goal so large that it scares you. Because that's what I was really big on last year, right? In 2019 with Tony Robbins and everything, working with him, I wanted setting goals so big it scares you.
Gotta love Jason, man. Gotta love this guy.
As soon as he said that, I was like, oh my goodness, I don't have a goal big enough that it scares me anymore. It's not that I don't have it. It's just that I'm so in the day-to-day that I forgot about that. And I was like, I wrote him back. I sent a message right away. And I was like, dude, man, I'm so glad you said that. Thank you. So top of mind for me is, and I know you don't like goal setting.
We're still talking about 2020.
No, it's not 2020.
Okay.
It the scares you. That's what it was.
Okay.
Right? It was embracing the things that scare you.
Mm-hmm.
Because for me, at Fanta with the changes we're making, it's not like we're slowing down on our changes, but we've done so many changes with our staff, with our culture, with our team. The next step for me that really just terrifies me, actually. What's wrong?
Those are little tiny changes.
Great. Those are little tiny changes. It was hard to see because little tiny Evan, it was a thumbnail on my window.
Wait, why am I not full screen on your screen? You're looking at yourself.
I was
full
talking.
Screen?
When I talk, I come up. I like to look at
look at yourself while you're talking. No, I just have giant Mark Drager on my screen.
No, see, when I talk, I come
you
up
want to see
and
yourself.
I go like this, and I'm just like, I know I need to shave, but come on.
Your jaw is extra square today.
Anyway, no, it's the doing things that scare you. And now that I'm thinking about this is the conversation we had May. It's always be jumping. Never mind. No topic. We've already figured it out all in my head. We've already talked about it. No, the biggest thing that I have to do that really scares me in the company is I have to purposefully run my company at a loss for like the next 6, 9, 12 months. And that just terrifies me. That really does. So,
all right.
As entrepreneurs, we have to do things that scare us. We can't just grow organically all the time because it's super, super slow. And sometimes you need to speed things up. And I spent a whole bunch of years, over a decade, playing it really, really safe, just with organic growth. And I'm at the point now where to hit my next level, I need to finance growth, or I need to operate at a loss, or I need to be comfortable without a sure thing. When, even though I've taken risks in the past, to me, they always seemed like sure things.
This doesn't seem like a sure thing?
It really doesn't. First time in a long time that it really doesn't feel like a sure thing. I mean, I've even told people, like in my family and whatnot, I'm like, a year from now, Fanta's going to be the greatest thing on earth, and it's going to be huge, or it's going to be gone. And I don't know which one's going to happen. And they're like, oh, that's really scary. And I'm like, but now it's like, oh, that is really scary. So as an entrepreneur, I think that people see us as risk takers. This is the greater topic though, right? The things that scare you, the goals that scare you.
Okay.
But people see us as risk takers, but I don't think most of us are risk takers. I think I think we have a confidence in the next step or in what we have to do, or we're heads down and we just do it. And I don't think we see them as risks because it's the next thing. It's the next thing. What's next? What's next? What's next? You're stair stepping up. You're always growing. $100,000 seems really risky. And then suddenly $500,000 seems really risky. And suddenly $1 million seems really risky. And it's just, your comfort is growing. Your comfort level grows as you grow.
Yep.
And so it's not risk, but then you hit a point as an entrepreneur where you have to do something that's not a sure thing. And I've never played in that space. I know other entrepreneurs, take people's money and they do this and they do this and they connect dots and it either goes somewhere or it blows up and they go bankrupt. I've never run a business that way. I don't think most of us run businesses that way, but
what about when you hired Daniel?
That was a risk, but it was, yeah. So what Evan's referencing is in 2009, is kind of one of the hardest things that I had to work through ever. But in 2009, the recession hit. There was 3 months where we didn't have any projects or deals or any revenue in the company. And I burned through all the cash that I had on hand. I had to let go my 1 or 2 team members that I had. And in February of 2009, I had the decision after 3 years of running Fanta to close it down. And I called my mom and I was really saying, like, I've just done this for 2.5 years. We haven't made any money. We have nothing to show for it. We have nothing we're proud of. We have no portfolio. We have nothing. What is the point? And then I thought I might regret it if I didn't give one last kick at it. And so I borrowed $50,000. I hired a headhunter, and then I hired a salesperson. But even that, the $50,000 was a line of credit. So it was something I could dip into. And I think we only ever went $36,000 into it. And I spent 2 years paying that off. My house was never on the line. And the worst case scenario was, I borrowed all that money. I hired Daniel. We spent another year and it didn't work out. And I'm $20,000, $25,000, $30,000 in debt. And then I go out and get a job and you pay it off the way you pay off a car or something, right? Like it's not quite the same thing as how it feels now that I'm, father of 4, 36 years old.
How many kids did you have?
Then we had 2.
It feels the same.
It's a swing. Listen, that was a swing. That was a big swing. And now this is another big swing.
It feels the same. The stakes are higher, but you're stronger. It feels the same. This is Mark in 2009. Every 10 years, it's a big swing.
We're going to close that gap. We're going to start to shorten. So it's not just every 10 years, Mark takes a swing. But no, this is a big swing,
Okay.
Even now at this time of year, based on where our fiscal is, we're usually really, 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 really up in revenue and profits. And this year we're really, really, really down in the negative. And it's just like, just operating the business and managing cash and making investments, even when you're losing money. That stuff is some scary stuff, man, let me tell you. So when Jason said like, hey, I hope you're setting goals that are so big that they scare you, it just reminded me what I'm really aiming for. Because if I'm aiming for like a 10-time multiple or a 20-time multiple of where we are now, then this is all little risk as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've never gone to debt for anything.
I know. I keep trying to encourage you to spend a little bit more money.
I'm good with that. I mean, we could grow quickly. Like if you gave me $1 million, somebody wants to invest $1 million, $10 million, $100 million into my company, I wouldn't know what to do with it.
I would very quickly know how to spend $1 million in your business. And I think that would help you. It would help you inject. It would be one of these. It would be like, it's not like it would be a hockey stick, but it would kick you up.
I've seen too many people. I guess it comes from the VC days too. I saw too many people just blow through cash with a plan that made total sense on paper, and then doesn't work out. Whatever plan you would have for how I should spend $1 million in my company, chances are it's not going to work. Most likely it's not going to work because you're hiring too many people, taking on too many capabilities that you don't understand, trying to do too many things and not executing well. and hiring the wrong people, and the whole thing falls apart.
Oh, see, if it was a challenge like Mark, you have to spend $1 million over the next 6 months, I would struggle to do that. If it was, here's $1 million, it's over here now, and you can make smart investments. And, you know, like when I had the $50,000 loan, it was a $50,000 line of credit. I only went 36,000 into it. You know, we have financing in the business. I don't even know if I'd ever be uncomfortable using all of that money for everything. So the $1 million would be like, well, here's what we'd spend 180, here's what we'd spend another 100. And suddenly you're seeing these improvements because you have $1 million, but we've only ever spent 300 or 350 or whatever it might be. That's the way I see money. You're like, okay.
Yeah, I don't like taking on debt. I mean, we finance the car because that's
a tax reason.
Expense. Yeah, that's basically it, right? And you can only anyway, whatever.
It's so funny. I'm so the opposite of you because I buy my cars for cash.
Well, you can't. Well, I guess you could just drop all of it on. Like you can't pay cash. You can only pay up to 10,000 cash. On dealership.
Oh, what? Through business, you mean? Or personally?
If you're gonna do a check, like you're gonna do a certified check, if that's you consider cash.
Yeah.
Then
that's how I do it every time.
Okay. No, that's not cash. Cash is showing up with cash. Cash.
Cash is you go to your bank account and you have all of the money sitting there, and you say, "I need a certified check," and you hand it to them, and you own the vehicle.
You're great. You're handing. Yes.
That's what
Mark's
I mean.
handing over a certified check.
You
awesome.
bought the asset.
Talking about cash, money, cash.
Fine. I've never bought a car for
you can't. The dealership only lets you pay 10,000 cash, or like 9,999.
It's so funny that you don't consider a certified check as cash when it's not. Anyway, that's fine. We're getting into the weeds now.
Anyway, so yeah, so we finance it because it just makes smarter tax reasons. But otherwise, I don't know. I don't know what would convince me to take a loan out for my business. That seems ridiculous.
Well, anyway, these are all like super technicalities, but the point is, right now the scariest thing are, you know, the next 2 hires that I have to bring on to hit that big goal. That's scary. Just to even operate my company the way I want to operate it, I need 2 more people.
Okay, but the last 3 hires,
have
been pretty epic. No, I mean,
very positive. Very positive.
I'm putting Louis in there as the first one.
Oh, well then no, then would be more than that. We're at 4. We're at 4 significant hires then.
Since Louis, or Louis number 4?
Louis a new role. Annie from Germany.
That she's the most recent.
Jacqueline started the same day.
Oh, the content person, right?
Creative and content. So she just came from Calgary, which is great. She moved and relocated to Markham, and then Alex is a replacement for Michael, but
Alex is crushing it.
He is.
No, he's not. He's not.
No. He totally is. He totally is.
Okay.
It's just anyway. We're gonna fix. We're gonna fix stuff. We're gonna fix. We're gonna fix. Asset.
Point is, you're moving in the right direction. You're moving in the right direction.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. We are a better company today than we were 6 months ago. Let me tell you. And I've learned a whole bunch of lessons on speed and why you got to move even quicker than that. But none of this changes that in 3 or 4 years from now, I will look back on 2019 and 2020 and go, man, you know, like that was actually pretty risky what I was doing. You know, like I could walk out of a year from now owing a lot of money.
Who cares what you're thinking 3 or 4 years ago about in 3 or 4 years about what you did right now?
Why? Because I play with time, Mr. Present. I know that you live in the present, but I like to think, will Mark 2 years from now be proud of Mark right now? And if not, then I got to work harder.
Okay, great. As long as it forces you to work harder. But that's not what you said. You said Mark in 3 to 4 years will look back on 2019 and say that was pretty risky.
Yeah, like with pride, something to prove. Like that was pretty risky. It's impressive that he did that.
Well, then if it's with pride, then no. If it's with pride, then Mark shouldn't even be looking back on 2019 because we're talking 3 more years of insane Mark growth. Like 2019 was a tiny little pebble in the crazy tsunami that was then created.
Evan, what's a goal
This is
so big
like
for you?
this
What's a
is
goal?
like aging rock stars. This is my greatest fear.
Oh, aging rock stars. You haven't talked about that since
The
November
aging rock
of
stars. This is it.
2018.
Yeah, you're living off of your past glory.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to talk about why that's a big fear of yours?
I don't know. Why do you think it's a big fear of mine? I just don't. I really don't like it.
No.
Did I talk?
I don't want to get too personal, but I know why.
I don't like the idea that like when I'm 60, like even the fact that I brought up my broken neck today and earlier, like already starts to feel gross.
It was only 9 months ago, man.
I know, but like I've already grown since then. Even going and doing the podcast yesterday, I left feeling so the director pulled the plug on me at 5 something. We're supposed to go to, we had it booked
It's
until
funny because
6.
last time you did it, you crushed it for even longer.
Yeah, I wasn't sick last time.
Okay.
I have a fever. I'm coughing every like 2 pages. They're telling me, okay, cut, like take a swish of water again. Your mouth's getting dry. It's like, okay. Do you need to break? No, I'm good. So the director cut me at 5 something. So we made pretty close, and we were way ahead anyway. I walked out of there feeling like, this is amazing, dude. I didn't even think I was going to be able to do it. And here I am, like, we crushed it. I went through crazy Mark Drager's 2 pages, and we like went way beyond what we thought we were going to do. And I'm sick. Are you kidding me? This is the best. I'm amazing. I posted it to my Instagram. It said like, I love you or something. Yeah, I want more stories. I want like, I'm not going to break my neck again, but I like that I'm currently doing difficult things and I'm currently pushing harder and doing amazing. Not just what I did 9 months ago or 3 years ago. No aging rock star. You're going to create so many amazing things in the next 3 years that you should look back on 2019 and be like, man, that was a seed, but look at the tree.
I don't know. Like I'm really proud that I didn't give up in 2009 when it actually probably made sense for me to give up.
Dude, I hear you. That's not the problem.
Okay.
The problem is, how much have you made yourself proud in the 10 years since then?
There's a few things I'm proud of.
Well, yes, especially in the last year. But look at the last year. In the last year, you have made yourself proud more than the other 9 years combined. Mm-hmm. Maybe your entire life combined.
Maybe. Or maybe I'm just more comfortable saying the words that I'm proud of something.
Sure. But even you telling yourself that you're proud. I'm proud of myself. Even allowing that thought into your head.
So what's a goal you have, Evan, that scares you? It doesn't have to be a goal, fine, whatever. What's the thing you're working on that scares you? Because if you have a goal, you're going to set out and do it. This year can't be that scary. It's last year was scary.
The thing with the tour, so I'm leaving the tour kind of 3 different times. And I wanted to say no each time.
Sunday morning,
yeah,
you didn't want to go to San Diego, and I was finding you flights at 5:30 in the morning, convincing you why you could make it to San Diego.
Yeah, we switched. So I'm speaking at next week. I'm going to Ed Milet's private group in Whistler to talk to their group.
Good.
And then flying back here, and then I delayed the start of my tour to go do Ed's thing in Whistler.
Yep.
Then in January,
can you fly Hayden home then? Isn't he in Whistler or no?
No, we leave a day apart. He's leaving a day early.
That'd be cool if you flew him home.
Yeah, I think no, because he flies direct to. I mean, I guess I could have. It would have taken me way longer.
Yeah,
because he flies direct to. He doesn't live in Vancouver. He flies direct, and so I fly into Vancouver and then have to drive 2 hours to get to Whistler.
Wow, 2 hours, so hard.
And then in January, just before I hit Dallas, between I think it's Memphis or Nashville, whichever one's further south, and Dallas, I'm going to go to Brendan Burchard's private mastermind in Puerto Rico for 3 days.
Nice.
He's gonna give me some tips on promoting the book, and I'm
private estate or hotel.
I don't have the details. It's his elite mastermind group. All these guys have their elite. So like same thing with Ed, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the retreat in Whistler with him and Andy Frisella have this mastermind program that you have to pay a lot of money to get into, and then they have twice a year or once a year events that you go and you meet them and hear people. So I'm their
Speaker.
Guest, whatever. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Speaker, but more like it's more intimate than it's not a 5,000 person event, right? But I don't know how many people. I don't know. Brendan. Yeah, so it's 3 days in Puerto Rico, and I have to fly back the day of my Dallas event. And then
that's good though, because Dallas is a hub for American Airlines, so you can fly straight from Puerto Rico to Dallas.
Yeah.
So you don't have to fly through Miami, which is what most people have to do.
We haven't figured out the flights yet, and then in March, social media marketing world, Michael Stelzner wants me to come out and speak about YouTube split testing and thumbnails, and
in front of 5,000 people.
Yeah, the 5,000 people is not. I mean, whatever. It's amazing. Yes, a huge opportunity. That's not like the scary part. Especially, I'll be in tour mode. I'll be in speaking mode. I'll be like, bring it on. Whatever. Yes.
Right.
Yes. This is easy.
Right. It's simple. Go. It's simple. It doesn't even scare you.
But it's a brand new presentation. Like when I'm doing my tour, I don't have to. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. But by the time I hit the road, I'll have figured it out. And there'll be a lot of interactivity. That's the magic. For this, it's got to be heavy. Like it has to be a deck. It has to have case studies. Like that's what they want to see. So I have to put together this amazing presentation while I'm on the road doing everything else that I need to do. And I had to switch my speaking day in Jacksonville. Anyway, so 3 different times I'm kind of leaving.
None of that's scary. Is it? You just said it wasn't.
No, the thing is, what it represents more is I want to play on a bigger stage, right? Like the thing that shifted all of them was I need to get my brand out more. And so this is a great opportunity for me to potentially do it, right? Whether it's a smaller event like Ed's or Brendan, where it's elite people who are coming together, or a giant event like Social Media Marketing World, where there's marketers from around the world to show up. It's what I should be doing. It's what I should be doing. So yeah, I contacted the guys at Vayner Speakers to add me to their roster. So going through that process, there's an email to get back to today, and just trying to make a more conscious effort to lean into those opportunities and projects and force them, right? Like I reached out to Vayner. So that's what I'm trying to do.
I like it.
Yeah. For the tour, it's insane, dude. All of the people want to do podcasts and meetups and stuff. Like I feel bad for Nina. Nina's gonna have to pick because we're not gonna be able to do everybody who wants to do stuff.
Well, people are buying those packages, you mean?
No, they're not buying the packages. It's more like on LinkedIn, we're reaching out to all of the people who I know in different cities. LinkedIn is insanely good for that. I heavily discounted LinkedIn until this moment and this tour because it's the only platform you can search. Did we talk about this?
Yes.
Okay. You can search location and connection.
And I'm pleased because I'm going to take credit for it only because I happened to say something once in a conversation.
Listen, Mark Drager's at the birth of all the great things in my life. So, and the most painful as well, as we've learned in the past week.
Oh yes, okay. I was like, what's the most painful? Oh yeah, I was reading my thing.
Yeah. So it's uncomfortable. It's like going to Ed and Brendan and social media marketing world. I'm talking about things that I know, I guess, but it's a different environment. I'm not setting the stage. The Brendan one this year or last year was the most scared I've been in a while, sitting
Yeah,
backstage, everybody amped up,
in
and me
September.
feeling I'm gonna disappoint the whole crowd, um, and forget because there were no slides, right? It's just go one
Yeah,
slide, my
yeah.
face, that's it.
Well,
Um,
when you texted me Sunday morning and you said, "Hey, there's this social media thing," and I was like, "Yeah," and you're like, "Hey, maybe you can go speak on my behalf." I was like, "Yeah, okay, cool. This sounds like fun." And then you're like, 5,000 people, and you have to speak on my topic. I'm like, "Nope."
well,
Yeah,
that
yeah. Okay, this is a terrible idea. What are you thinking? Did you see how quickly I turned? Or I don't know if you can tell my tone. How
I was
quickly
just
you turned.
thinking, I want to give him an option. I was thinking, honestly, I was thinking, I don't want to do the way that the flights. If the flights lined up, I would have. It was an easy yes. I don't want to do the overnight flight. I don't want to do like the stopover and then takes forever to get there. Plus, you're losing 3 hours coming back east,
Mhm.
and then missing my next stop. And I didn't entertain at that time the idea of switching the tour date. Nobody really cares this early on if Jacksonville is one day later or not.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
in my head, it was like that was we already have our plan. Um, so
Well, I'm glad you agreed.
yeah, so I thought, let me ask Mark.
I thought
I
it was a
mean,
cool idea, and I was like,
I,
okay,
d-
yeah,
I
scary,
don't
but I'm gonna
know.
say
I don't
yes.
know if he would have said yes, but I wanted to at least float the idea because
Yeah,
instead of just saying no, and this is good business, like
yeah,
instead of just saying no to somebody, try to find an alternative.
yeah.
I would have put you up as the architect, the mastermind behind all
Your
of the
brand
stuff I'm
manager
doing.
or something. Perfect. And I was already thinking, okay, so we have this like Evan Carmichael brand team thing, and I say, I speak on, like Evan from a working style, and I would talk like one of the strategists on your team. Yeah, I
Yeah,
already worked it all out in my
yeah,
head. And then
yeah.
you were like, and then you talked about how big it was, and that it would have to be like specifically on your
Thumbnails.
slides. And I was like, no, no, no.
Anyway, so
I should have said yes because I'm supposed to think big, be bold, and say yes. But
right.
my response was 5,000 people. No, no,
Well, 5,000 people
no.
should be, yeah. That's your Tim Hortons all over again. You should be going off and doing it.
Great.
Uh,
Oh man, yeah. That's
well,
a
and,
lot.
and Mark wants to speak on stages and
I
speak to
do.
marketers, and so
I
here
do,
is this
and I enjoy it.
huge opportunity. Yeah.
But I'm sure we've talked about this in the past. My think big, be bold, say yes specifically is that because I, by habit, don't do those things. I don't think big. I'm not bold, and I say no to everything. That's my instinct.
So pushing more on that side, trying to hit bigger opportunities, trying to force more of them instead of just waiting for them to come,
Yeah.
and just reaching out and asking for help more. Even the whole Brendan Burchard thing has taken, like, I didn't know Brendan before we met. I knew of him and we profiled him, but he was one of the only guys that I haven't met in
Mm-hmm.
any context. And he gave me some great tips on speaking backstage, and then said, "Hey, if you're promoting a book, I'm the book king. Like, all of my books go off to be New York Times bestsellers. I have a process that I'd love to walk you through. You can come to my home in Portland or Puerto Rico because it's where I live, and I'll walk you through it." And we tried to line something up before the end of the year, and I've been on him like it's been me chasing him down. I've been chasing him down because he sucks on email. He wants to text and I don't text, and he doesn't do email. And so we sometimes are on email, sometimes we're on IG. And I almost got a phone just for Brendan Burchard, a phone number just for
Nina
Brendan
has a
Burchard.
phone. You can text through Nina's phone.
I
I
guess
mean,
I
it's
didn't
in your
I didn't consider.
brother-in-law's name, but still, it's not a big deal.
Is it really? I don't even know
Yes.
that.
The one time that you called me when I insisted you call me on the telephone,
Okay.
I was like, who is this? What is going on?
So I must have sent, I don't know, a lot, like 10 emails or Facebook or Instagram messages over a course of a couple months, following up, which maybe doesn't sound like a lot, but is more than I would ever normally do. To get to Vayner speakers, I messaged Gary and I messaged D Rock to say, hey, how do I, like, what's the process? and they put me in touch with Zach, who runs the agency.
Mm-hmm.
And now we got to get him. Like, it's been way more aggressively chasing things down when I get the idea for something.
I love
so,
it.
Yeah. So it's honestly, it's one of the conversations I want to have with Brendan. When I go there, I'm going to ask him, like, I want to do this more. What do I do? Like, take me on tour. What are we doing?
I love it.
Right?
I love it.
Because of all the guys, like him and Tony, there's not that many. Like, there's not that many guys who are playing at that.
And you can see when someone, you know, you can, like Russell Brunson, you can see over the last 8 months or a year has really aggressively connected because, you know, he was doing his thing and then suddenly now he's plugged in with Dean and with Tony. And then suddenly he's now on these, you know, and it just, he's suddenly everywhere. He just shows up.
So that's got to be me. We're pushing it.
I agree.
Aggressively.
I like it. So that's your big scary goal, is to be more aggressive getting on stage.
And chasing down opportunities.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I met Dave Meltzer on our trip in LA. Why we were in LA? We're in LA like a month ago, 2 months ago.
Yeah. 2 months ago, November.
And we met Dave Meltzer for breakfast.
You went to LA for that conference and for that artists thing.
Right. Yeah. Even that, like going for the artist thing. I mean, it didn't really pan out, but I connected with Ryan Blair after that, which he's an awesome guy and may lead to something. So formed some good connections, but not in the way that I was initially thinking. But even that idea was right, like matching creativity, art with business.
Mm-hmm.
Here's this event. I'm gonna move things around and go early just to be there. So Dave asked me, how can I help you? It's like, I want to get on bigger stages. Like, what do you know?
I like it, man. I like it.
And asking everybody, and then it may, like right now we're updating my speaker reel with the new stuff that I just did in Texas, and where else did I go?
Brendan's thing.
What? Where was that? That was Arizona.
Yeah.
Texas, Arizona, and there was one more. Anyway, whatever. Updating the speaker reel because I want to send it out. Yeah.
Cool.
Playing a bigger game.
I like it. So do you believe that everyone should have, you don't think that everyone should have a big scary goal. You just think people should do things that scare them constantly.
Should everybody have a big scary goal? That's interesting. I don't know. I don't have an answer for that one. But should people do things that scare them? Absolutely. That's why you should go back to the Tim Hortons. You should go back tomorrow to the Tim Hortons and say that you messed up.
On Monday morning, when I was super sleepy, like everyone else, I messed up my order.
I'm really sorry, guys. I'm really sorry. Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, I'm just going to confuse them. They're going to be like, what? Did we not give you the right thing? I'm like, no. It wasn't that. It was that.
It's amazing. Just because of how awkward it is, I really think you should have your camera guy like incognito in the car, zooming in, filming. You're mic'd up.
With me labbed up and just trying to explain to them that 2 days earlier.
Yep.
I went through the drive-through.
Yeah. See, that kind of stuff. That's it. That's greatness.
But here's the thing with the big scary goal thing.
Yeah.
So when we went to Robbins, you know, he takes you through an exercise where he asks you to set a monetary goal. How much money that you want to have at, I don't know, retirement or something. And then he backs it up to like 20 years from now. And then he backs it up to 10 years from now. And so I set this goal for myself. Then I was thinking, 10 years, the goal that I set doesn't seem that big. Doesn't seem like very much with inflation and with all this stuff. So then I doubled it, my goal. And I was like, it still doesn't seem that ambitious. So I made it 4 times larger than the number that I doubled.
Okay.
And then that is what got so crazy that I was like, oh man, for me to have that much money in, I think I said it, a 10-year goal of having a lot of money in cash, not even in assets, just like money in the bank. That was the big crazy goal. But then it changed my thinking to, well, my current company won't allow me to ever make this much money because It won't. And so I need to change my company structure to be able to earn more money. And our current market probably wouldn't be able to earn that much money. So we got to think about new markets and who do we have to be and what type of company do we have to be to earn that much money and to have that larger company size and be in those other markets. And then that got me thinking about thought leadership. And then that got me thinking about growth. And it got me thinking about all these other things. Part of why I really love Jason's comment was because it just reminded me of the origin of that big goal. Because I've been doing all those other things now and I've been changing things, but that goal is still audacious, right? Like, I've shared it with a few people who have grown companies or sold companies, and they're just like, that is an insane goal. And then I talk to other people who think really big, and they think that it's tiny and it's stupid and it's like ridiculously small. That's the thing about the big scary goal that I think it's not the number. It's not the, I want 10 houses in 5 countries. It's not the, I want to take 3 years off and do, and go to space, right? Like, it's not that big, crazy goal that scares you. It's the fact that you have it. So that way you're working towards something that secretly kind of still feels a little bit unachievable, but forces you to be someone else and grow just to be able to work towards it.
I think it works well. So as you were talking, I was refining my thought process.
Of course, not listening.
No, I was listening.
Thanks.
I was listening. I heard what you said.
Okay.
I still don't know why you talk to these people in your family and some people have sold businesses about this stuff. Cause it's always like, they always just crap on what you're doing.
Some people do. Like, someone was like, I think you're manic and crazy. And I don't think you realize how impossible it is to exit and keep that much cash after taxes. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Thanks for your support.
Yeah,
bro. But like, why every episode for the past 3 or 4, you've referenced another person in your family who you've had some weird conversation with, who then says this stuff. So like,
this was last February. This wasn't even someone in my family. This was just someone that
but you're bringing it up again now. So
because I hold on to these things.
But don't talk to these guys. Screw these guys. They're not happy. They hate their lives. Anyway,
you refined your thinking.
Yeah, you were mentioning between do things that scare you every day and should you have a big, scary, ambitious goal. The do things that scare you is an identity thing because you don't want to back down from something just because you're afraid. Like you don't back down or be a nice friend to me to say, hey, Evan, you go do the 5,000 person event out of insecurity that you can't do it because it's like, you should do it. You should say, hey, if you don't want to do it, I'm going to go.
Well, it was 2 things. 1, really big, scary, and I'm insecure. And 2, when I realized the importance and size of it, I'm like, no, that is the right thing for your brand.
Yes,
not to try and back out and give me the opportunity, which I'm probably going to mess up on your behalf.
That's fine. I don't care.
The true thing to do is to take this opportunity to grow your brand.
Got it. But what's the percent split between those 2?
Like 80% for you.
Great. So it's crushing the 20. Right? So learning to crush the 20. Right? Just recognizing that it exists means that subconsciously that's taking over in so many areas, and that's where you need to crush. So that's the benefit of doing scary things. That's why you should have gone back into the Tim Hortons and you should go tomorrow and film it because you were scared. Because it doesn't matter about what they say or if it makes sense or if they think you're crazy or whatever. It's that you were too embarrassed to go. Yeah. So you go to Starbucks across the street. Like,
I went to Starbucks and bought a different coffee.
Don't teach yourself that. That's the worst thing that you can teach yourself. Like, this is scary and embarrassing. I have to jump in and go do it.
Yeah.
Right? So that's an identity thing, and that always serves you for whatever your ambition level is. So that should be everybody, every human. You do scary things, you do difficult things. The scary, ambitious goal, I think, really comes down to is, do you know what you want? If you know what you want and you have those moments of clarity and certainty, like I now have greater clarity over, I said, if I had $1 million, $100 million, whatever you want to invest in my company, I wouldn't know what else. I could put $1 million in my company. What am I going to spend it on? Huh? Right? That's the problem. So I'm gaining more clarity in terms of bigger stages and now aggressively going after it. Right? Mm-hmm. When you don't know what you want, it's okay not to have a big, crazy, scary goal. Like, your job is to go off and try everything until you get clarity on what you want and not feel like a loser because you don't have a scary, ambitious goal. and this will be for everybody. You'll have moments in life where you will know exactly what you want and you need to go chase it down. I think having a monetary goal as a brain exercise could be helpful, but for most people, it's actually counterproductive. So Why? You want to be worth what does $100 million mean? I mean, whatever your number was.
It's just, you have to be a certain type of person and think a certain way and have a certain comfort with money and investing, and you have to have done the right things to be able to have that, right? So like my 10-year goal at Tony Robbins was to have $20 million of cash, or whatever, you don't like cash, liquid assets.
No, it's cash until you turn it into a certified check, and then it's a check.
Fine. It is. Cash.
What is a check, Mark? A check is the same thing. A check, whether it's certified or not, is coming out of your... Okay.
$20 million sitting in an account somewhere is for the life I live now, and for who I am, and for who I was, and for the business that I ran, was a very, very ambitious change.
But how do you know that you want that?
This is what I tell people when people are like, wow, that's crazy. That means that's like $40 million before taxes, and that's this and that's that. And and do you know how hard it, and like, no, it's not that. Like, whatever, 10 million, 15 million, 20 million, 50 million, whatever it is. That's not the point. The point is that it's a number that's so large that I don't think it's achievable for me. So I want to crush that. I can't achieve it on the current path that I'm on. So I need to become someone else.
But how do you know that you want that?
I want to be the type of person who has that.
How do you know?
How do I know? I don't know. How do I know? Because I want to live a certain life that having money will help with. A year ago, like my kids are in French school. They go to French school. A year ago, I said to Jack, wouldn't it be nice if we just like, the kids are learning French, French, but you got to be immersed, right? Why don't we just like get an Airbnb for the summer and go to Paris for the summer or something?
You don't need 20 million in the bank to make that happen.
I know you don't, but we're not in a position to make that happen. I'm in a position to come up with the idea. I probably could. That's not true. I could make it happen, but I would take a lot of resources that could be used elsewhere to make this thing happen. Idea to action. I want to be the type of person I have all these crazy ideas all the time. Evan's teaching me to take action from them. A lot of them cost money to do, and so I don't know. The monetary goal is only the big scary goal because of the person I have to be able to achieve that goal.
So the person that you want to be has to be enough of a driving force to help you go off and do it.
Yes, I think we agree.
Well, but that's like then clarity in the person that you want to be.
But I have no way. I have no way of setting KPIs around that type of person. Like I'm hitting my health goals because because to be that type of person, health is important. Now I've set health goals and I've hit health goals, and I reset my schedule, right? Back before Tony Robbins, it was all over the place. My wife was mad because I was coming home late and I was all tired all the time. So now I get up at 4:45, I get into work, and I come home at 4 p.m. I leave at 4 p.m. every day. So that way I can be home at 5. So I can spend time with my wife and kids. That's part of that intentionally living the type of life to be the type of person to do those types of things or whatever. But there's lots of those types of things. Anyway, it's a big scary goal. You don't like it. You don't like I know you don't like monetary goals because you don't like materialistic things, but I still, as we've talked about many times before, I'm still materialistic.
There's nothing necessarily wrong with it. It's just what's underneath it. Like you have to want to be that person. And so what does that person mean? I mean, you could go and make that money and never see your family again, right? Like you want to see your family, you want to have your time.
Yes.
Having a goal to have 20 million in your bank account so then you can take your kids for a summer to France and live in a nice hotel for 3 months or whatever. The problem is the money, how you made the money isn't tied to something important. You're still looking at like, oh, I made this money, so now I can spend it and do all this stuff.
No, but it led to me wanting to build Fanta a certain way, to do a certain thing in certain markets with a certain team, with a certain culture. Like
But the
that
end
was,
result,
that
you're
was
still focused on like the end result of trying to make this kind of money, as opposed to this is what I want to be able to be.
So I spent a long time thinking if I could be that person, then the money would just come. The only shift was,
But be
if I
what
want
person?
that money, what type of person do I need to be? Both achieve the same results. I don't want to get the money without being the type of person, and I
Sure.
don't want to be the type of person without the money.
But it's just so this is the same thing. It's like lack of clarity over what you want. That's why scary, ambitious goals are helpful when you have clarity. You
Yes.
still don't have clarity. You just have a number in your head. That's
Yeah.
not clarity over what you actually want.
It's clarity.
No, it's not clarity. It's making money. What kind of
No,
person do
because
you need to be?
I have to be someone who's comfortable and capable of running a 140 person team in American markets and Canadian markets, and I have to be a much better leader, and I have to be visible. So that's why we do social media. That's why I want to speak on stages. That's why I want to be able to help more people. That's a very different shift from the type of company I've always run. A small 12, 14, 18 person team focused mostly on, the Ontario market. I need to think very, very differently if we're going to be a 140 or 160 person team with 3 offices,
Right.
and in all these markets. So that's part of the vision of who I need to be able to turn into.
Well,
I need to be a CEO and a leader, as opposed to someone who's always focused on doing. That's a very big shift for me.
well, okay, great. Are you excited about, like, do you want to be that CEO? Do you want to run a company with 140 people and have offices in 3 countries or 3 cities or whatever you said?
I like the idea of it. I want that. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm going to say I want it. Yeah.
Why?
Why do I want it?
Like, the answer can't be because it's going to get me $20 million in the bank.
No. No, that's not the answer. That's the
Good.
metric you use to measure whether you're succeeding or failing. I don't know. Probably part ego and part ambition and drive, and part that I think that we can create something at Fanta that's really amazing. Like I think what we can do with clients, what I'm trying to do with the company is what all marketing should be, and yet isn't. It's like a moral issue for me. And I think what we can do with the culture is amazing, to give people great opportunities. I don't know if I'm capable of being that leader or not. I don't know if I'm capable of being a CEO or not. I don't know. But it's very uncomfortable for me to think of myself in that situation, or put myself in that situation. I'm much more comfortable in my office with the door closed, not talking to anyone, just answering emails.
Is that who you want to be?
What do you mean? Yes, I want to be that person until I determine that I don't want to be that person. Isn't that how isn't that how everyone sets goals? Why do you want to speak on really big stages and be part of the upper echelon and breathe rare air and be part of the top 10 people who do what you do? Why do you want to do that? Because you can help more people, yes, but also ego and all of these other things.
I really feel like what I have is special.
It is.
I really feel like it is.
It is.
And it's not reaching as many as it should be. And
Yes.
It's because I haven't been as aggressively pushing it.
But that's, dude, man, like
What?
I got off of a call this morning with a prospect.
Okay.
And we're working through something that like I could have done in my sleep 10 years ago.
Okay.
And so it's not a challenging project. It's not a challenging client. And it's a 25-minute conversation. When I got off the call, I walked out to Louis and I was like, dude, man, I just crushed this call. And he's like, okay. And I was like, man, I helped them so much. Like the way I asked the questions, the clarity I provided for them, the way I made them feel and led them through the process. I was like, I'm so good at this. And I like walked out like ecstatic that I gave this person the opportunity to comfort them.
Okay.
To make them feel like, we have this big thing and I don't know what to do and I don't know how to do it. We don't have any time. I don't know. And I was just like, in 25 minutes, yeah, no problem. We'll take care of everything.
Okay.
That's what I want to bring to entrepreneurs at scale.
Great. So that's what you need to do.
That's what we're trying to build with Fanta.
But let that be the driving force. That's the driving force.
It
You do
is.
that.
It
You
is.
do that,
The
then you'll
monetary
make-
goal is my personal push. It's not the business thing. It's my personal push.
Personal push for what?
To be comfortable making the investments that I have to make, to be ambitious enough to say, can we be a 140 person team? Or like, listen, I don't care if it's 80 or 60 or 200 or 300. I'm not really tied to I'm not tied to the outcome. I'm tied to the way that we would have to, it's very easy as a service-based business to have an A team and then a B team, right? Your A team are your rock stars, your B team are people you kind of throw in when you need to. To have 140 people, you're running like 8 individual teams in all areas. Like it's a totally different machine and mindset and communication style and business. And so right now I'm working on building up my A team, and that's a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
The next challenge will literally be us replicating that A team a second time.
Okay.
And once we know how to do that, we can go to 4, 6, 8 different teams. It's just you add money, right? You add money and you add clients.
Okay.
But what I want to know that I'm capable of doing, the thing that I have to prove to myself is that I'm actually capable of doing this. Because the easy thing for me to do would be to stay small or become a consultant or shut the company down. And a few times per month, I think about running away and getting a job or shutting the company down or whatever it is. But the thing that I have to prove to myself is, no, I'm actually capable of actually building a business and not just being the guy who ran a really, really small thing and kind of got lucky. That's what that number means to me.
Okay.
You're not looking at someone who's capable right now of earning that much money.
Oh, I know.
I want to be the person who's capable of earning it, whether I earn it or not.
I would just switch it. I would switch it to whatever you said your mission was. This is what I want to scale to entrepreneurs around the world. I'm not looking at someone who's capable of doing that either.
I know. I can't even figure out how to, like, the brand, the way that I make people feel and the comfort I give them and the brand promise we have at Fanta is like, don't worry, we've got this. We don't even know how to deliver on that yet. It's still too bumpy, and it's still like it's a total mess. It's total shambles. We're fixing it. What I'm trying to do, no other agency does. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to do something that's like really honorable and really transparent and really honest, and it's not putting profit first or any of these other things. And so a lot of people want to work with us. Like, a lot of people want to work at our company, and a lot of people love the vision. I need to prove to myself that I'm capable of building it. Because right now, all we have, we have a good team. We have a lot of people with heart. But right now, people fall in love with me. And I need that to carry on throughout the entire process and not just be like I had a client today, like our biggest client. I've talked to you a little bit about this deal. Our biggest client, I was on an update call with him today. And 3 times he told me that his boss and his boss's boss gave us sign off in November, which he's never heard of, sign off coming that early, that we got thumbs up easier than anyone else. And that his boss and his boss's boss twice in a conversation said, I really love Mark. I trust him. They can do this. And so what I hear is like, great. Mm-hmm. Oh no, now I have to be on every single call and talk to this thing because they love me. And I need them to love my entire team as much as they love me.
Sure.
That's the thing that I want to be able to build at scale. That's the thing that's really hard for any business, for any entrepreneur. It's easy for people to fall in love with the leader or the entrepreneur, the charismatic leader or whatever it might be.
Okay, but now we're going
in circles. But to me, the monetary value turns me to the person that I need to be, only because it shifted my thinking. It was just the kickstart that I needed to change my thinking. And then that fed down to all of these other areas.
I just think you'll get better results if you say, I want to be the guy who's helping entrepreneurs around the world and shifting the entire industry, as opposed to, I want to be the guy who has $20 million in his bank account.
Other than, this is the first time in a year or whatever that I've ever actually publicly even said that was the monetary thing was my goal.
Great. I mean, public or not.
I'm just saying that it's. I hear what you're saying. How do I measure then, Evan, Mr. Carmichael? How do I measure that my new goal, my new big scary goal, is to be the guy who changes the world?
You pull out a piece of paper.
Okay.
Every night. This is it.
Okay. You take your daughter's drawing.
Okay. This is the starting point.
Hold
Flip
on,
it over.
There we go.
Flip it over.
Okay.
And you write today's date on the back.
Great. Today's date. January 7th, my mom's birthday. January 7th.
We're in the evening. It's getting close to Mark's bedtime, 9:30.
It's very close to my bedtime, yes.
And as part of your new nightly routine,
yep,
you write the date.
Yep.
And then you give your score out of 10.
Yep.
Of how proud you are of your effort today. To go help entrepreneurs around the world, whatever your mission was. You want to change the way marketing is done.
Well, see, I have so many missions, man. We want to make marketing predictable.
No, that's not a mission. That's stupid. That's not your mission. Want to
make marketing predictable?
That's not your mission. That's a tactic along the path. How do you accomplish your mission? By making marketing predictable. Your mission is to make marketing predictable. No. Nope. Nope. That's one of the strategies that you're going to use. That's one of the tactics along the way. That's not your mission. It's not. Your mission is to, the way that you made that guy feel and his boss and his direct, you want everybody to feel that way and get results in their business. That's what you want. That's your mission. Now you need to package that up better, but that's the mission.
I know a good copywriter.
Yeah. You'll figure it out. That's the mission. How do you do that? You make marketing predictable.
So is this my phantom mission or is this my personal mission? Because I have different sides of me.
What's your personal mission?
Well, I mean, yeah, maybe it's similar, right? You read it. You read it, buddy. What was, you read The Man with Something to Prove. Do you not remember it?
It was all business focused. It was all about how you want to be able to sit down. Oh my God, that one where you said something about.
I would literally be on my legs. I would literally.
No, not that.
Oh, on 1 year from now.
In 1 year.
1 year from now, when
we'll be having a glass,
and I'll say, across each other.
"Oh my God, I couldn't say that." That sentence was at least 25 takes. Brutal. I want to in 1 year say, "We'll make." Mark's looking it up.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter, Mark. You're going to read it. It's going to be beautiful.
No, it's not that. I'm actually looking up now what I wrote here as my mission.
You're going to tell me
my greatest hope for you.
You want to help people have something to prove.
Because more than anything, deep down, I want to help people like you build the most extraordinary, meaningful things possible. I love being a part of the process, as small as it might be, that leads to the moment when others look at what you've done and say, you did that? Because I know what those of us who have something to prove are capable of. You have the chance to build something that you're proud of, to do something that matters, and I can't wait to see what you do. I don't know. That was how I ended this.
Okay, great. So that's your mission. You can tighten it up, but that's it. That's the essence of it. How do you rank yourself today out of 10 for doing that?
I don't know. I don't even know how to answer that question.
You got to answer the question.
I don't know.
How proud of you
am I today out of 10
for the effort
of
that 8-sentence thing combined
people with something to prove, be the best versions of themselves or whatever?
No, that wasn't it.
I know.
Helping them make extraordinary things so that people look at them and say, you did that.
Yeah.
Great. How are you doing? How's your effort level today?
I'm pretty proud. I'm pretty proud of some of my calls.
You what?
I'm pretty proud of some of the phone calls I had with people. I had
accomplishing that mission?
Really great conversations today, but I don't know how to answer the question.
You want to spread that thing around the world.
Yeah.
Great. So how proud of you are your effort for doing that?
For spreading it around the world, not very proud.
Well, for the whole thing.
I don't know.
You're not going to be there. What? 4.
4.
Perfect. Great. 4 point what? 0? Just 4? Straight up 4?
-4. I'm at minus.
It can't be -4, Mark.
I'm at 4.
4, perfect.
4 out of 10.
Got it. Now you have
Great.
a metric. Go beat that tomorrow.
That's such a soft metric.
No, it's the greatest metric of all time, dude. Your 20 million is a soft metric. That's a garbage metric. 20 million. This is the only metric that matters. Soft metric. Yeah. What does a 10 look like? Now, a 10 today is not going to be a 10 in a year, right?
Yeah.
So like
The 10
what
today is next year's 5.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
That's the kindness on yourself. Gentle. You're not capable of doing it. You don't have 20 million in the bank today either. Great. So you're not going to hit a 10 for where Mark's going to be in 5 years. But are you proud of the effort you put in towards chasing down this mission to help whatever, the world of entrepreneurs with something to prove, build something extraordinary so people look at it and say, you did that?
Mm-hmm.
That's your mission.
I'm surprised you're not picking apart how ego-driven that outside, that third party, you need someone to look at you and go, oh, you did that?
Yeah, I'm not a fan. I know
you're not a fan of that.
I'm not a fan of that.
I know. It's important to people like me, though. Listen, man, there's a little buzz. Like when we used to do national campaigns, so we would do like television commercials for national brands, and you'd be sitting, I'd be sitting, whatever, at a mall or, a food court or something, or you're just talking to someone, and your commercial, like the commercial that you made, it comes up on the screen because it's on for an entire year. And like the Sunwing commercial we did that we shot, and we got back the morning of your wedding. I got back at 6 a.m. the morning of your wedding to Nina, and then drove straight without sleeping to your wedding. My daughter screams in the beginning of that commercial because we needed the sound of someone screaming. There's a little bit of pride though when people are like, you did that? And you're like, yeah, we did that commercial. There's a little bit of pride there, man. And that's the same pride that comes from business owners, when people are like, oh, yeah, that's your thing. You did that? Not like in a way of like, I didn't think you were capable of that. Like they're marveling at it. I like that.
Your position around all of it will change in the next few years.
Sure. I'll become less third party driven, more personal. That's fine. I'll grow, I'll learn. But for now, I like outsiders thinking that we're awesome.
Your need for external validation is going to shrink dramatically over the next couple of years.
Cool.
It just will. But whatever, it doesn't matter because it's all along the same path.
You know what I was thinking when I was driving home, man? There's more people like me than like you. I was thinking that. I was like, Evan's crazy and it's cool, but man, you are like, you are so next level that you're unreachable.
You're already more like me than most people.
Maybe, but I'm,
it's already happening.
I'm more like you than most people are like you, but I'm still closer to most people than I am to you.
No, you're already past the 50% threshold mark.
You think so?
Yeah, you already are. You're already past. You're like 56%. You crossed over.
So here is everyone.
Yeah.
Here is like Evan and some of his contemporaries who are pretty out there. And then Mark is like just like slipped to just this side.
You've crossed.
I've crossed.
Over the holiday break, you crossed over.
Oh, I don't know, man. The holidays were hard, but okay.
You do hard things.
I know.
Yeah. Mark Drager crossed over. You're closer to the crazy than to the normal.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
So that's going to change in a couple of years. Awesome. Who cares? It's still going to be close. It's going to be the more positive, less insecure side of the mission. It's still going to be the same thing, just now confidence instead of ego driven. Right? Ego is just insecurity.
Some of us are still very insecure people.
Everybody's insecure.
Okay, great. We're all insecure people.
Yes. But I'm insecure. But to have insecurity be the lead domino of the mission is problematic. But it's going to morph into the more confident side. We'll fix it.
We'll fix it.
It's already being fixed. It's already happening. But that's the metric that matters. Every day, you can Instagram story it up.
Okay.
Give myself a 4 today.
A score out of 10 on how proud I am today of pursuing my mission.
which is?
I got to work on my copy.
All right. Okay. But yes.
Okay.
And then that should drive you nuts. Like, I only did a freaking 4 today. And tomorrow you go in and then you say, I'm gonna get a 7 today, or an 8 or whatever.
Yeah. I'm pretty right before the podcast, I ate so much keto chocolate that I was sitting there eating it and I was just like, oh man, I'm destroying my diet today. What am I doing? But I did it anyway. So I feel like I don't know if these like, I didn't do well today, tomorrow I'm going to crush it really works. What I'm saying is I didn't do well on the diet today. So I don't know if that's going to motivate me to do better tomorrow or what.
That's the same thing as looking at your bank account and saying, I can't take my kids to Paris. But at least it's more directly attributable.
Okay, big scary goals. Here we go. 2020. We're going to stop talking about the year and the goals. Evan's tired of the last 4 podcasts of us doing it.
It's been a long time, man. It's been a long time reflecting on 2020, 2019.
Say, dude, like in December, I was thinking about the holidays coming up. Over the holidays, I was thinking about the holidays. We're now in January. I'm thinking about the holidays. Like you gotta feed me something else to think about then, or to worry about, or when was the last time you approached me and said, Mark, dude, you gotta fix this stuff, and start getting angry at me? It's been a long time. It's been since September, I think. I was in Boston when you made me cry because you beat me up so much. And I was so tired that I sent a photo of you, of me with tears in my eyes. And that's the last time that you really beat me up.
All right. Well.
Challenge accepted.
No, I don't know. It flows. I've been focused on other people, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
There you go. Anyway.
I was very angry at you yesterday recording my audiobook.
No, you were not really angry with me.
I wasn't really angry, but I was very frustrated. I
was
very
frustrated. Not at me.
It's like, yes, who uses manic in a word? Who says edge without the edge?
Listen, Evan, when someone has a medical condition that makes them manic, you don't just change it to maniac. It's a mental health condition. That's like, you don't just change it to maniac. If someone has mania, then they're manic.
I'm okay with it.
Great.
I'm okay with the change. I'm okay with the change. The intent was there. That's all that matters.
On edge.
On the edge.
No, you were not on the edge. You were always on edge. That is the sentence. That is the statement.
Yeah.
You are living always on edge. Edgy, right?
On the edge. You're on the edge.
You're not living on the edge. No.
On the edge.
Because if you're living on the edge, that means you're on the precipice of falling. You're on the edge of falling. Living on edge means that you're in a hyper sense, like a hypertension sense. Like
because you're going to fall.
No, not because you're going to fall. Because someone could come through the door at any moment and yell at you and freak out and throw stuff and get drunk and all of that stuff. You're not living on the edge.
That's the fall. That's the fall.
There is
that
no
is the fall. That is the fall.
No,
yeah. It's the same thing. Living on the edge and living on edge is the same thing.
No.
It's the same thing.
You're always living on edge. You're always tiptoeing around. You're always unsure of whether what you do or what you say or how you act, how it will,
Listen, let's not end on this because I had enough frustration yesterday. The whole team doesn't want to hear your name ever again.
Oh.
But they don't know you like I know you. It
actually makes me feel it worries me a little bit now.
No. They're more frustrated at me.
I gotta
not being able to read this. The words are right there. I'm not even looking to a camera. I just have to read the words that are in front of my face, and I can't do it.
Not good enough, Evan. No, I'm not good enough.
It's okay.
That's the thing I fight all the time, right? Is the feeling of not being good enough. And now I'm going to go to bed carrying this around for the next day.
You're okay, Mark. You're okay. But what are you going to do tomorrow to get a 7?
I don't know. I don't know.
That's a way better question than how do I build a $20 million company?
I don't know. I really want $20 million.
We're going to flip it, dude.
That's good. We'll flip it later. I really want $20 million.
We'll get you more.
Those who have more can do more.
Yes. Great.
Right.
Yes. It starts with you tomorrow coming back and writing 7 down on that piece of paper.
Okay.
What do you have to do to get a 7 on that paper tomorrow?
I will have to think about that.
Yeah, that's the best thing you can think about. in the next 12 hours, that is the greatest thing. Actually, you're going to be at work in less than 12 hours. That is the greatest thing you think about. You should post this on your stories and tag me so I can see it.
12 hours from now, I'll be 7 minutes in to a monthly business meeting with a client. So I'll probably be presenting.
How do you, but then it gets micro. Then it gets meeting by meeting, client by client, minute by minute. How do you score yourself? Like, use that as your metric. How do you make that client meeting not just a normal client meeting, and not just one where they get blown away because Mark always blows their face off? No, this is extra special. I'm not just going to show up and do my thing and give him a 4. Right? That's intentionality. Yes.
I like it. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go, McAfee. Scan the viruses. All right, Mark.
Yep. Thank you, Evan.
See you soon. If you want to know why your comfort zone is destroying your life, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.